Spinning.
Welcome to the Freakopotamus podcast. You ready for some R&B, funk, soul, and Prince? Let's go. And now, your host, the real Russell.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back once again to the Freakopotamus podcast. How's everybody doing today on this Big Hump Day Wednesday? Aren't you glad it's not Thursday? I normally do my shows on Thursday, but this week it's on a big Wednesday. Hope everybody's doing well. We're in the middle of the week. We're almost there. Really excited about this show. Been looking forward to this one for a couple weeks now. As you all know, we're going to do a watch along of the 40th anniversary of Purple Rain screening and Q&A session that was held out in Los Angeles about a week ago. Anyway, so I've got my usual guests with me, the trio. We've got Richard Cole joining in, and we've got Tanya D. Harris. We'll ask her what the D stands for later on. But anyway, we're supposed to have a third guest. Her name is Olga. Hopefully she will join us later on throughout the show. She's running a little behind today, but she was actually at the event. So I'm sure she has, lots of extra things to tell us that we won't see in the actual footage. But anyway, I just want to get to some purple news real quick. I'm sure most of you heard the announcement from the estate. I think it was this week or last week, that for the people that can't afford to go to Celebration this year, they're trying to make it a little bit more affordable for folks, and they're breaking things down into like single day events. And basically, Celebration is June 20th through the 24th. So I'm just going to read to you what the estate put out last week as far as the lineup for the single day events and the prices, and then you can make a decision on whether or not you want to go now. So basically they say, let's celebrate Prince and party like it's 1999. Now is your chance to join Prince fans from around the world in celebrating the life and legacy of Prince, as well as the 40th anniversary of the legendary film and album Purple Rain. Ticket sales to panel sessions, video screenings, and concerts are now available a la carte. So if you want to experience some of the amazing Prince Celebration 2024 programming but cannot attend all 5 days, you can choose from the following options. Friday, June 21st, the day package is $125, available through State Theater box office. What you will get is the concert footage, panel session at State Theater, Purple Rain the movie in State Theater or at State Theater. So that's the 21st. On Saturday, the 22nd of June, day package, $125, available through State Theater box office. Sorry. All right. So what you're going to get for Saturday, June 22nd is concert footage and panel session at State Theater, Broadway musical presentation, discussion, and sneak peek. Friday and Saturday, a 2-day package is $200, available through State Theater box office. What you get: concert footage, panel session at State Theater Friday, June 21st, Purple Rain the movie at State Theater, concert footage and panel session at State Theater Saturday, June 22nd, Broadway musical presentation at State Theater. Purple Rain Tribute 1, The Revolution, $175, available through Paisley Park box office. What you get: the Revolution concert at First Avenue, Purple Rain after party at First Avenue, and for the Purple Rain Tribute 2, Morris Day and the New Power Generation for $175. Available through State Theater box office. Morris Day, the new Power Generation at State Theater, Purple Rain After Party. So there you have it. They broke it down, trying to make it more affordable for folks. And so it's now up to you to decide whether or not you want to attend any of these events. So let's talk about some of the events that were mentioned in the breakdown. Of course, we got Celebration, the 20th through the 24th. You can get the big VIP package. You can get the general admission package. And now you can get the 1 and 2 day event package. And what's going to be happening throughout that event, we've got the Revolution Friday, June 21st at First Avenue. Those of you who don't know about First Avenue, mostly everybody does. It's where the actual movie Purple Rain, most of the scenes from Purple Rain were filmed. And then that same day, we also have Morris Day, live in concert. Was it? No, it's actually the next day. I'm sorry, the 22nd. My bad. Let's see. And then we have the new Power Generation, also Saturday, June 22nd. And they are going to be at the State Theater. Is that right? State Theater. And also, let's see, they're having a... Now, let's go back to the new Power Generation anyway. I have video footage of our boy, Mr. Morris Hayes. He's not talking about this particular concert. I think they're also doing a couple of concerts over in Belgium. So I'm just going to bring him up and let him tell you about that real quick.
Hello, everybody. This is your man, Mr. Hayes, Morris Hayes. And I want to invite you to a show called Celebrating Prince. And that's going to be with the former members of the New Power Generation, all right? And we're going to be on July 9th at a club called Silk in Middleton. I think I got it right. It's going to be down right below here. So come on down, check us out. We're going to party, we're going to jam to the music of your man back here. We're going to get down, all right? Peace, love y'all.
All right. Love me some Mr. Hayes, man. Cool dude. Never met him. Would love to. Very funny dude. Anyway, that's happening over in Belgium. There's a couple dates they're doing there, and they're doing one Minneapolis as well for the celebration. Also, during celebration, we've got the Prince Block Party downtown Minneapolis at the new Prince Mural, Saturday, June 22nd, 12 p.m. Free to all. Dress code is, of course, purple. Those of you who have not seen the new Prince mural, I have not seen it myself, but I think it's actually right across from First Avenue, if I'm not mistaken. So, good evening, Russell. I've already watched the PR panel, but wanted to see your live reaction. Stephanie Mills. Thanks for joining in, Stephanie Mills. We are so looking forward to it. If you have anything extra to share with us that's not shown in the footage, please do so. We'd love to know. Also, if you brought Andrea Swenson's book, PR40, her live stream interview with DC. Was that DC Publi? Maybe something was left off. Okay. Yeah, thanks for that information. We'll definitely check out that book. All right. So, without further ado, I think I've covered all the purple news for this week. If I left anything out, let us know. But I'm going to go ahead and bring in my special guest tonight. And as always, girls first, I will bring Miss Tanya to the stage.
Hello, everybody. Hey, Russell.
Hey, welcome to the show. Welcome to the
Thank
show.
you.
All right. Let's bring Mr. Richard Cole to the stage.
What's up? What's up, everybody?
What's
We got
going on,
Hey,
Rich?
Richard.
Y'all
uh
excited?
oh yeah, yep,
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
got
excited
my
too. I
book.
haven't even. Oh yeah, I haven't even seen any of this footage, so it's going to be new to me as it's new to you. If you
Right.
haven't seen it,
Yeah. I haven't seen it. I
wish I
just
could
saw
have been
little
there,
clip,
man.
I
yeah, I saw pictures on Instagram, of people, there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's see. I had a flyer to it earlier, but I'm just going to read from the flyer exactly what took place and who was there.
Okay.
Um, so it's basically the Purple Rain 40th anniversary screening and panel and Q&A, and it featured uh, Jeremiah, Dr. Funkenberry, Freed, um, Jerome Benton, Jill Jones, André Cymone, and special guests. Now, some of you have probably seen the pictures posted up on social media from Jill and Andre and Jerome and some other people who those
yeah.
special guests were, but I'm not going to spoil it for anybody who doesn't know. Um, and they had some DJ sets by DJ C minus and Chrome Queen. Um, I don't know if we'll see that footage. I think it's primarily the Q&A session, most likely, and it was held at the Regent in Los Angeles on May 26th. I think it was last Sunday.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, wait, before we get to that, 2 days away, Prince's birthday. What are you doing?
Oh,
Oh,
yes. Ooh, yeah. Well, I'm kind of bummed because I wanted to go, to Minneapolis where everybody's going. I think they left today, and some people leaving tomorrow because they're doing the bowling with Maite,
Mm,
dance with Maite Friday, and the concert with Shelby. I think it's Tyka's concert and guest. That's
yeah.
going to be
yep.
Friday, so I'm gonna miss all that because I'm going to Celebration and I couldn't do both. So I have to work. So I'll be working, but of course I'll post stuff on Instagram about our lovely prince. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. Awesome. What about you,
Yeah.
Rich? What do you normally do?
Normally I just revisit the music,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
just
normally what I do all day long, all Prince,
Yeah.
all day.
a day. Mhm.
Yeah.
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 May rock a Prince t-shirt or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I gotta have a graduation to go to on Friday, and I don't know what the dress code is, but it's gonna be purple for me.
Did that's what you got to do. Yep.
Gotta
They got
represent, right?
you got a
Yeah.
purple dress shirt. You good to go.
Mhm.
There you
Mhm.
go. I remember a
Yeah.
couple of years ago, I was down in Miami. We normally take vacation throughout the Prince's birthday week, and I always rock a Prince T-shirt on his birthday when we're on vacation. And surprisingly, it just surprises me when people come up to me and they said, today's his birthday, right?"
It's
It
funny.
just, yeah,
Yeah.
you wouldn't think that a lot of people know, but they do.
Right, they
They do.
do. Hmm.
True
Yeah.
fans,
Yeah.
you know.
Yes, yes. He touched a lot of people. Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Hmm. Yeah.
A lot of memories.
Hmm.
And
So
especially,
many, man.
yeah, I
Go
was
ahead.
gonna say, yeah, especially with this footage that we're about to see.
Hmm.
Um, just going, taking it back to 1984,
Hmm.
and that was just like a peak almost, because you had, whether you came in at For You or whether you came in at Dirty Mind, there was this kind of progression.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And and with Purple Rain, it was like, a few weeks ago I was reminiscing about how When Doves Cry came out,
Hmm.
and how every time I've heard it since then, and we're talking 40 years now,
Hmm.
that it takes me right back to that day when I first heard it on the radio.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
I don't
and
know if
then
you're
Yeah.
like me, but every time I hear it, I'm listening for different things that I've never heard before, and I can still hear things in it that I've
Yes,
never
that's
yeah,
heard
so
before.
true.
mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yep. Ah. I remember
Yeah,
those
man.
days.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
I remember I was in high school when it came out, and
Yeah, I was in high school too. Yeah.
and I
I had
remember.
just graduated.
Oh, did you? Okay, 84. I think I was
Yeah.
a. I
Yeah.
think I was a junior. Yeah, I was a junior in high school.
Okay.
84.
Okay.
I was about to be a sophomore because it came out that summer. So I was about
Right.
to be a
Okay.
sophomore. Yeah.
Okay. We're telling our ages here.
I know. Oh
First
boy.
generation.
Right?
Yeah.
We're the
I
first
yeah.
first power generation.
Right.
Exactly. I'm really telling my age because the first time I saw Purple Rain was actually at a drive-in theater.
Oh yeah,
And
Oh,
they still had drive-ins. Yep.
yeah, you pull up to the
I
speaker, put
missed.
the speaker on your
Put in
window.
the thing.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
the good old days.
Yeah.
Oh
Exactly.
my goodness. Yeah, and then from that movie, like I said, my friends in the band, they came up with they got some people that could do Prince music. I think they called
Hmm.
themselves Purple. And they
Okay.
started a band in high school. Yeah, we would act like, we were people in the movie, Apollonia, Jill
Hmm.
Jones. We
Hmm.
would do all that. We
Yeah.
would do shows for high school programs.
Yep. Back
Yeah.
there in those days, that's what mostly everybody did because it was like
Yeah.
trendy. The
Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
Minneapolis
thing.
sound was
Yeah.
popping, and Morris,
Yes.
the
At the
time, and
time,
Hmm.
yes. Yeah.
they were trendy. Everybody wanted to emulate.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. That was the big thing. It was like when Purple Rain came out, everybody went and got bands the next day.
Yep.
Hmm. That's exactly
Yep.
what happened. I came back as a sophomore. We was in the band.
Yeah. Yeah. I can remember going to Prince concerts, and like you would
Oh
see so many
yes.
lookalikes at the Prince concert.
Mhm.
Oh
You don't see
yeah.
that
They
anymore.
right.
They caught a lot of flack
Oh.
for it, but you know, but that was the trend.
Yeah.
Yeah, people would dress like Sheila E.,
Hmm.
Vanity, Apollonia, Prince, Morris Day. Yeah.
Hey, guess
Yeah.
what?
Uh-huh.
Olga's here.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes! Because I was like,
Let's
I saw
bring
her
in Olga.
text, and I was like, I don't know what to touch.
There she
Yay,
is.
Olga figured it out.
I figured it out. I just wrote in
Yes,
the chat that I don't have headphones. I hope it's not a problem.
It sounds
you're
great.
good.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I can hear you.
Can you hear
Hey,
us?
Olga.
Hi, Tanya. Hello. Nice to meet you, Richard.
Yep. Nice to meet you too.
Russell.
Nice to meet you. Welcome.
Thank
We were
you.
just reminiscing about '84 and when Purple Rain came out and the whole Minneapolis craze, and talking about the movie a little bit. And obviously, you were at the event, right? For the screening.
Yes, I was at the event, and I was at the prior to that on Friday. I think you may have seen that there was a commemorative event in Los Angeles at City Hall. Did you guys see that at all?
No, I haven't seen any for just I guess some posts on social media.
Yeah, it was on
Mhm.
social
Yeah.
media. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. So that
Yeah.
happened Friday, and then Sunday, yes, that was the Purple Rain event in Jerome.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't watched any of the footage. I borrowed the footage from YouTube. Actually, I need to credit the guy before we get started to make sure I'm good there. But I would have loved to have been at that event.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think what happened is Morris, I'm sorry, Jerome posted it, and it wasn't really publicized or out there too much. It was just that week actually,
Hmm.
and
Mhm.
so I live about an hour north of Los Angeles, and so I took the day off.
Okay. Okay.
And drove out there. I didn't really know what to expect, and so there was a few other people that were there. So it was Jill Jones, uh, Jerome, obviously,
Right.
and Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam. I'm trying to think. Who else was there, Tanya? Do you remember? You saw it, didn't you?
Yes. Oh,
Dr.
did you say
Funkenberry was
Andre? You said Andre Cymone?
Andre Cymone,
Yeah.
yes. Andre
My
Cymone was
crush,
there.
Andre Cymone.
Yes.
Who
And
is?
Jill, my mind's gonna go blank.
Jill Jones.
Jill Jones, but there's another
Yeah.
Jill, and I always she was also there. She's gosh, I hate when my mind goes blank. It's just old age.
I can't think of her last name either. I seen her online. Yeah.
Look her up, Tanya. Look her up.
Oh, was it?
I have them on the phone. I
Was
need
it
to have
Monroe?
her.
Yes. Thank you, Richard. Yes, Monroe. So, and a few other people that were, back behind the scenes. So yeah, we all met there, and that was really nice. It was maybe I don't know if I can post the link or I'll send it to you. But if you look under Los Angeles City Hall, the councilwoman that announced it. It was really cool because it started out. She says, "Well, dearly beloved, we're gathered here," and then they showed this really nice video commemorating the movie Purple Rain, because some of the locations were shot in LA actually.
Yes, sure. Yeah.
At the wheel turn, that part where he comes in on his motorcycle, that was shot there as well. And so, there's a lot of little scenes that are in Los Angeles. So, yeah. And then it was about 30 minutes. That was about 30 minutes. And again, they each spoke. So it was nice. It was a really neat event. So
very nice. We're going to get into it. I was kind of searching back in my history to see if I could find the guy that posted the video so I can give him some credit, but he must have taken it down or got in trouble for it. I don't know. But anyway, I can't find the video to give him credit. So whoever shot the footage, giving you credit for it. It's not my footage. I didn't do it. Just want to clarify that. I don't want to get slapped by the YouTube cops.
Wasn't me.
Oh, maybe it was the guy at the Jesse Johnson show, right? With the camera under the table.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That was funny.
All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and play the footage from that event. And if anybody wants to pause it and talk about something, Olga, if you want to tell us something that we don't know, that is totally fine. But I'll go ahead and get started. Where are we? Where is it? That's it. This is it. Here we go. Everybody hear and see? Okay.
Day in the house. I hope you enjoyed the 40th anniversary screening of the blockbuster film that I co-starred in, Purple Rain. I wish I could be there to check it out with y'all, but I'm about to go on stage in Vegas and do my thing. Shout out to Jerome and the cast of Purple Rain and all of you lovely folks. I'm gonna check you out soon. Yes.
Testing, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Fans, can you hear me? Give it up. Purple Rain 40. Are you guys ready? I can't hear you. Are you ready? Here is your panel for Purple Rain 40. There will be the people here. Everybody up. Let's go. Fans on your feet. On your feet. On your feet. On your feet. Get up. Get up. Get up. Thank you guys. Here's your panel. This is a fan event. This is independent from the estate.
Sure.
Okay, everybody. Everybody knows this panel, and this panel needs no introduction. Your host tonight, moderator, historian, liaison, fan liaison, Dr. Funkenberry, Jerome. And the panel needs no introduction. Jerome. Benton, soul of the Minneapolis family.
Thank you, Captain Copeland Anderson, Director Cameron. Good Lord, you're looking proud.
Thank you.
How does it feel? Everyone here. How's it feel watching the film today? You still the same feeling you had back then? How's it age well in your opinion? Can't see. Jill's too bright. How's it?
I'm sorry, Olga, were you saying something?
Oh, I was just, yeah, there was just some issues with the lighting. We couldn't see them on the from the stage in the audience. We couldn't see them, and so they were just trying to. That's what we were everyone's yelling about the lighting. And,
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and yes, and then that was a really good. So in the very beginning, when we saw Morris, that was a surprise. We didn't know that was going to be part of the because it did say special guests, so he was one of the special guests, and then there will be more, but I'll let you watch it.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
And if you can't see me, I'm not on the screen. I'm like behind the logos and stuff, but I'm here.
I can see you. Yes. Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. It's good to see Jimmy Jam and André Cymone up there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just really quick with Jimmy Jam. I mean, when we were in line. I don't want to talk too much, but I'll just give you just some behind the scenes. You know, we were in line at the Regent in downtown LA for this, and he comes out and he's just, you know, we're like, oh my gosh, you know, here he is, and he's just saying hello to everybody, taking some pictures.
Wow.
So yeah, he's just the most. Tanya and I have been around him a couple of times. He's just very down to earth, just, you know, great storyteller. So yeah, I really whenever he's around, I enjoy listening and you know, hearing what he has to say. So okay.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I really enjoy listening to his stories.
Yeah.
That I've seen on video and stuff. He seems like a real down to earth guy. Him and Terry Lewis as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's start again. For everyone that's on the panel, including Jerome, how's it feel watching the film today? Do you still have the same feelings you had back then?
Feels sexy. How could it be any different? I've seen it so much, but it's not the same, but it is the same.
Can you guys turn these blazing lights off, please?
Are we backlit?
I have to say the color. Pink light.
Y'all so sensitive.
I was like, that this crowd is rowdy.
Turn off them lights.
Someone didn't show up for rehearsal.
There's a lighting problem.
Where's the lighting person? Is it possible to dim these lights because the audience can't see?
The lights in the audience.
The lights facing the audience.
These lights are not on, and the lights that are coming from there out, right?
Yes.
Not those. Purple light, is that any better?
listen to y'all. I bet y'all tell each other, turn the TV down, it's too
I see you
loud.
coming down a little bit.
It's the wrong lights, you gotta get these.
Sound guy running out the back door. I mean, a light guy running
The
out.
house lights need to come down. No, that's the wrong way. They need to come down.
How we doing, y'all? I'm sorry, I'm only a sound engineer.
See, we got the sound right, not the light. There we go. Thank you for that.
Thank you, guys.
Now, when you guys were filming this, did you have any idea it was going to blow up the way that it did? When you guys were filming it, Jill, Jerome, did you know it was going to blow up
I
like this
didn't.
MTV generation?
I didn't. I don't think I had an idea it was going to be as big as it was. It was kind of like we were all just, having fun, but I don't think we really knew what that meant. In theory, but then when it started happening, opportunities started flowing from it, so that's when we knew, like, oh, okay, we're on the map a little bit here.
Yeah, she's correct. We didn't know what we were doing. And up to that point, all we did was videos. No dialogue in videos, just move here, move there, look like this, sit down, stand up, dance, do the bump. And that's what we were introduced to. And then it got real at the premiere. That took some shit and put it in our space.
Now, a follow-up for Jill, because you were super close to him at this time. Did he know the movie was going to be this big? Did he have any inclination?
I think so. I think he had a lot of people. He got to see how the machine worked on both sides. So I think he was prepared and expected it to be. I don't know if I knew that, but he had by that point met agents and people in the industry, and Steve and Farnoli and all of those guys were definitely, I mean, it was a formula movie, formulaic, and it almost couldn't fail. But I think he wanted, then soon after, Footloose came and all the other ones followed, and he had studied a lot of the newer stuff that came out too, like, what was the one with Jennifer Beals? So when that came out, he went to see that like 1,000 times. I mean, he really was banking on success, if I would.
My brother Bobby Z had a theory. He said he thought Prince was born old and he's growing younger as the time goes on, because how are you going to just start out in your career and write a song called Baby I'm a Star? That's really, really presumptuous. I mean, who would do that? And he did it, and he pulled it off. And he knew ahead of time, I guess, that it was all or nothing.
And when you had that, when you talk about it, because Baby I'm a Star and I Would Die For You was kind of around in 1981 when you started rehearsing it. Now, did you know about some more of these songs before 1981, 1982? Same with André. I want to ask that if maybe some of these songs existed
I had
before that
hints
time.
of it, but he didn't really. If you're talking about the songs that are on Purple Rain, no, not really. I mean, there was a couple songs he had done before, but that was pretty much new to everybody that night. Everybody. Nobody heard it before.
André, do you have the same thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would have to, well, obviously, but I have a slightly different perspective, I guess, because he wrote a lot of music. I mean, I don't know how much you guys know, but you're in a band together. Before Purple Rain, before he put records out and all that, but he used to write a lot of songs. I mean, we both did. We were trying to, we were always writing a lot of songs. So I wouldn't be really surprised if he didn't have that, somewhere in his, on a cassette somewhere. It wouldn't surprise me, but I don't know for sure.
Now, cassettes of those basement jam sessions, I'm sure. Now, along with what was going on in the basement, you had all these dreams, musical aspirations. Was film brought up at any time at all when you guys were there, just jamming things together?
Yes, all the time. I mean, I think we probably went to see just about everything that came out. I mean, you name it. Lady Sings the Blues, The Wiz, Superfly, we went to see everything. So, I mean, I think one of the things, when I watched it this time, because, I've seen it obviously, a number of times, and it's a great film.
Yes, I read that. So the name. Yep.
Somebody cut me. It's a test of time. I think a lot of times, all right, I think a lot of times music, especially great music, will stand the test of time because it's classic. And it's basically about the performance, the attitude, the conviction. And that's one of the things that I think Prince, had down. That's one of the things that we used to really focus on, is that, you can't, people know when you're not true to yourself. They know when you're not true to your art, you're not true to your creativity, it comes off as fake. That's the reason why all you guys are here. Because it was for real. It was real, and this kid, poured his heart out, and I thought it was, anyway.
And now you just have these, because here it was with the revolution and the time. Of course, you have the dynamic before that of Flight Time at Grand Central back in the day, being basically the inspiration for Battle of the Bands. Because, Purple Rain plays off the dynamic of the Battle of the Bands from those times. Can you speak on that a little bit? And that would be for Jimmy and Jerome as well, sing those things with the Battle of the Bands with Flight Time at Grand Central.
Well, no, it was definitely, thank you very much. One of the things that I loved so much about the movie was how it showed the competitiveness of the bands in Minnesota, because we all had our own clique. I mean, Terry, a lot of people don't know that Terry and I were in rival bands with each other. And Terry's band would kick my band's ass, and then I go back and kick his band's ass, And we eventually said, we should just join up together, and then, it might work out pretty well. But yeah, Grand Central, which was Prince. How about the fact that it was Prince, André, and Morris Day in the same band? So, and the way that Purple Rain portrayed that was the way it was. I mean, you had to be, because you weren't allowed to play in the white clubs up in Minnesota. So there was only a few black clubs, and there was, probably 4 or 5 bands, and there was like 2 or 3 clubs. And so you were always battling and trying to find your niche and your spot.
But what was good about it is competition is what makes you good. It makes you really study your instrument, get good at what you do, practice. And we used to, over on the north side of Minneapolis, there was a community center called The Way. And a lot of those bands would all practice in the same place. So we'd get a chance to watch what Grand Central was doing and go, oh, okay. And then we'd watch what Flight Time was doing. We watched, my band was called Mind and Matter. And we used to all watch each other. And so there was no hiding from each other. Everybody knew what you were doing, but you got good at your craft. It was about being good at your craft. So it was good. Competition was good.
I just want to follow up and ask a question just about the long-term relationship between you all as musicians. And Jill, I think you have a perspective on, being inside the Prince camp as the music was going. And then Jimmy and André and Terry, you guys were burning up the charts with the artists you were working with Janet and with Jody. And I was just wondering, during that era, did you guys feel like that was an extension of the rival bands and the rival sort of camps? Or did you guys feel like you were ruling the world together from Minneapolis? And what was your perspective on it? And Jill, what did it feel like from the inside? And David as well.
Well, for me, like, I kind of, just to go back to when I first went to Minneapolis, Prince and you guys, like, the time was already rehearsing, Vanity 6 was already rehearsing for the upcoming Triple Threat tour. And even then, he would go to each rehearsal and with his own band, and he was really worried about the time because he'd go and look at their rehearsals, and he would just go over and say to his band, like, you guys need to, like, you know, beef it up and, like, do something better. And with the girls, he would just lay into them all the time about what they needed steps, they needed to make themselves exciting, but he knew that this band was going to be a threat for him on the stage. And for the most part, they were, like, really, like, most nights on that. And I kind of always liked that Prince would concede his losses on that, because he would always, which is crazy, watch a video after every show. No matter how late it was, he would watch it. He'd watch everybody's show and take notes, and then in sound check, try to perfect for his next thing. And it just seemed like they were throwing things together effortlessly. And so I feel like for him, it was competitive, and I think that's what kept him going. It really kept the creative juices flowing, because they were coming up with steps and all sorts of, you know, things, anecdotes, and they had a story, a narrative that would tell itself in their playing, aside from just being a really, their band was just like shit hot, you know? So no, for him, it was definitely kept him on his toes. He didn't have, I don't think he had anybody like that afterwards.
And in terms of the music, Jimmy and Andre, like, Sign of the Times, What Have You Done For Me Lately, Looking for a New Love, still competing, or ruling the world together from Minneapolis?
I never felt in competition with, certainly not with Andre. I mean, Andre's my cousin, so y'all know. But I never felt in competition. I always felt like I was always happy whenever something from Minneapolis was doing well on the charts. I just was going to say the same thing.
I was still am, and always be super proud of everything everybody did. Every time I saw you, I would scream. If I was at a club, if it came on, I was screaming. It's like, you know, representing. I'm representing y'all. My first guy. You know, I mean, these guys are killing it. I mean, I mean, it was so, we were so blessed. Because I think the rivalry we had, and there's just one thing I have to say, we never rehearsed it to play. Prince did, no, never. But Prince did with, when he did some stuff.
Yeah.
Sonny.
No, I remember, but with Sonny, Sonny Thompson. Yeah, we have to say Sonny Thompson's name.
Those guys, but we did go down there and we watched those guys perform. Yeah. And they made us want to go back. We literally went back. And we went to the drawing board, and it was an education. But Flight Time, and you should tell that story, Jerome, about how there was one particular Battle of the Bands that now, because, I think the kid thing, was an interesting thing because we were so young and so, everybody thought we were, sort of green, I guess, because we were so young. They just didn't take us serious. So they said, those kids, we always call, but we were pretty serious. But one particular Battle of the Bands, and I think about it because when I see this movie, then I see a lot of interesting connections to real life and things that actually happened. But we were going back and forth. We do. I think I forget who started, who opened, but I knew we were supposed to have the last say. So you
guys opened.
Okay.
You guys opened, and you guys were doing well. Mm-hmm. You guys played mostly original songs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Flight Time, they played cover songs.
Mm-hmm.
Long story short, they did their thing. Had all the girls laying all over, hanging off the rafters. There was an open foyer, and the tiers of the building is called Butler Square. And each floor was open and you could look over the edges down at the bands.
Yeah, it was a great venue.
It's amazing. And they performed, and then Flight Tank came on. And they had Cynthia Johnson, Miss Black Minnesota, Funky Town, US, I Want to Take You to Funky Town. And didn't they have Great Williamson as well?
He wasn't there either.
He wasn't there.
I don't think.
That's
Oh, you know, he might have been. Yeah, because he was. There's a whole other. But anyway,
it was a roster. And myself and James Greer, Popeye, they were performing, and it was getting to the end of the night, and they hit a popular song. I don't remember what song. And we led a dance troupe around every floor, on every roster.
You have to mention one thing before you finish. We were supposed to do our last set. They were doing their set. We had one more set to go, so go ahead.
It was over.
Okay. We were supposed to, they went on, we went on, they went on, we were supposed to go on last and shut it down, right? And so we saved our best songs for last. He guided the people out and guided them all around these rafters and all that stuff. And said, thank you, good night. They all left. We never got to do all that.
It was probably triple the amount of people in this room in a train, and I'm doing this. The same thing that you've seen in Under the Cherry Moon.
Exactly. And so that's the reason, you know, I think that was a big part of it. It was like what Jerome did. It was like, Prince was like, we need to have something like that happen. Because I don't ever want that to happen again. So, yeah, but anyway.
So like you said, things from what we dealt with in life showed up in a lot of Prince's product. And like Jill said too, he was amazing. He would come in and drill the band and make them better, regardless of how it was going to affect him. And thank you, Prince.
Now for David, you know what Let's Go Crazy was tracked at the warehouse with wedges to simulate it being live. What other songs performed at First Avenue ended up on the record? We had Baby I'm a Star and I Would Die For You. What other stuff was done, and how did that night come to be of August 3rd, 1983, of you guys recording from the band?
Well, Prince called me and he said, we're doing a live recording, you want to do it? And I went, yeah, I was sort of his SWAT team, I guess.
You did everything back then for everybody.
Well,
everybody, you worked there for years.
A lot of stuff, yeah.
Amazing dude here, you guys.
That's just because I'm older. But I was around before everybody, really. I recorded Flight Time before they were the time. I recorded Central before they were anything. Everybody. I mean,
Jody's album.
But in the early days of Minneapolis, there was nothing, really. I was in a band when I was in high school, and it was, I'm going to date myself, it was like 1966. So,
Cadillac.
Yeah, I have it. But, you know, that was my goal, to get Minneapolis culturally on the map. And we didn't have anything. There was nothing. People had to move out if they wanted to succeed musically. Bob Dylan moved to New York. Willie Weeks, who was in Michael's Mystics, a local band, he moved to the West Coast and became part of Sly and the Family Stone. There was, you know, the people that didn't want to do something seriously couldn't stay there and make it happen. And we were trying really hard to make something happen out of Minneapolis. I remember all the A&R men from record companies went, well, we're not coming up there. You got buffalo in your backyard. And I mean, in a way, that was true. But it made us into a microcosm of our own culture. And everyone invented, and Prince was the volcano. He exploded. But there were a lot of other people doing things during that time period. He opened the gate because he had the most successful music, but we were just trying real hard, and we weren't really in competition. We were kind of like fought the battle of Minneapolis together, you know, in a way. And we were just trying to get things. We were just trying to get our word out to the world that there was music up there and that it was good, and we weren't copying anybody. There was nobody to copy. I mean, they didn't play R&B music on the radio except for small stations, and you know, it was our own. We had to invent it. Everyone had to invent their own sound, which had nothing to do with anybody else. Which you know, I think is an amazing cultural explosion of art and culture and music, and you know, something that we can be proud of because we made it. And you know, but my small part of it was, you know, I'm glad I was there to do it.
I think David's being very humble and saying small part. I have a feeling you guys dig in record crates, and I have a feeling that there's a lot of records that you read the name David Z on. And I just want to ask you guys who had the opportunity, how important was it to have somebody who was a few years ahead of you guys that had some expertise in recording, and how that impacted Grand Central being able to be recorded before flight time or anybody like
the woman speaking right now and also asking the questions is Catherine Copeland Anderson. That's Andre's wife.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't want to interrupt you, but you know that.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You were there, so anything that you can input.
Yeah,
for
that's
our knowledge.
her. She's really nice too. Very nice.
Yeah. So the guy with the mic right there, that's Bobby Z's brother, right?
Right.
Yes. Yes.
David?
That's the first time I've ever been around him. So he was, full of knowledge a lot, you know, just has been there from the start.
Yeah. Well, David, I think their real name is like David and Bobby Rifkin, David Rifkin, right? Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Cool. All right.
And there's just really quick, everything that he was speaking about there, and Andrea Swinson's going to be, spoiler alert, she's going to be on there pretty soon. She's got a great book, and it talks a lot about what he's mentioning about, you know, the early years. It's called Gotta Be Something Here. I would totally recommend that book because it talks, and it's Prince related, obviously, but definitely a great book to read about what he's speaking about. So I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, yeah. I think somebody mentioned it earlier. Is it André Swinson's book, Purple Rain 40? Is that right?
Yes, that's another one. That's her latest book, actually.
Okay. And apparently that's available in the DC Public Library on YouTube.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Nice. All right, I'm trying to come out from behind the logo, so let's see. All right, let's get him on.
how did it affect your work going forward, having somebody in Minneapolis who is doing the work?
Well, from Grand Central standpoint, we didn't have a whole lot of money. I mean, that's why a lot of, if you think about so many apprentices on there, I ain't got no money. So it's true. You know, it was true. In flight time, they had a bus, we had bikes. So, it was I mean, but when it came to recording, because the way we met David, initially, we actually won the Battle of the Bands where we.
I think I'll leave that up there so everybody can see us all. That was kind of.
I need to. That's actually remove that because I hit
So
send
that was our
before
kind of first
it was the right. I'm gonna resend it. So
in the
that's
studio.
sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Repeat that. I'm sorry.
If you could take that off because I hit send before I
Oh.
wrote the.
Okay,
Just
my fault.
my fingers here are going too fast. Okay, I'm gonna put the right thing in there. I promise.
Okay, cool. All right.
And then, that was like once you experience something like that. Because I think David, I don't know if it was you or one of the assistants, but they were like, they ran us through these tests. And so you guys have perfect pitch. Because they just hit stuff, notes on pianos, and we didn't know what they were talking about. We were like, what does that even mean? And in our demo tapes that we did, we didn't know what we were really doing. But I think thanks to David, they helped us understand how important professional recording actually is. Because otherwise we had, we were doing, I don't know if you guys know what cassette recordings are. Yeah, I fortunately still have quite a few of them, which is interesting. One of these days I'm gonna release it and put it out so you guys can hear me. We're trying to figure it out, but to answer your question, yeah, definitely up a lot.
I was just really happy I didn't have to do polka bands anymore.
I was just going to say that, I know nowadays you can basically have a studio and a laptop, right? But this was the days where there was a craft to recording, there was a craft to engineering, and you actually had to know how to work. And by the way, we as artists weren't really even allowed to touch the soundboard or anything. So the reason that your recordings were going to come out good was because of people like David. Because not only did you have to be able to work the soundboard, you had, back in that day, you had patch bays where like literally you had to make sure that the signals were going to the right places. You had to make sure that the machines were aligned with the tape in the right way. There was all kinds of things. Was that?
XLRs that work?
XLRs that work, that's right. So it was a whole different idea of what, cutting the tape, literally editing was literally physically cutting tape. So all of those and that skill set that allowed us to take the songs that we had and actually put them out and make them sound good, that's David Z.
Now this is a question just regarding the acting of the film for Jill and Jerome. We know it was originally called Dreams at first, and Prince was like not going to sign back up with Cavallo, Ruffalo, and Fagnoli unless he got a picture out of it. And he had the money, they had to go for it. But apparently, this is what I want to see, because I hear about this story and I don't think it's true. You guys would know. Apparently it was brought up in the pre-production meetings, even though Prince said he wants a film to star in it, that they were wanting it to be John Travolta to play the role of the kid as Prince. So, any truth to that you know? And
I've heard
Prince,
that.
would he have even put up with something like that when he's trying to get it?
I don't remember that. There was no way. I mean, John Travolta, no. We already had, like, Bill Glenn came. There were at least, then there was another guy who was an acting teacher. And this was even before we had the script written. So, I just don't think he would have ever given his script to John Travolta. There's that. I don't know where that tomfoolery came from.
Rumors.
John motherfucking Travolta.
They wanted Sylvester Stallone for Beverly Hills Cop.
Let me finish, Junebug. John Travolta up against me and Morris. What? Yes.
I mean, they spent a lot of time with each one of us. Al Magnoli came. He spent a lot of time with the time to look at all the dynamics. I thought he captured a lot of it pretty well. I mean, there's sometimes really gray areas where you're like, oh, that's kind of how the rapport was with everybody. And there was a lot more footage that they cut out that really captured a lot of the band dynamics, and everybody had bigger parts. I mean, but then they sort of fell back on the old formula train, which always works for some reason, but it didn't. Yeah, not John Travolta.
John Travolta?
Okay, so since a lot of people, we want to know about Justin. Okay.
He's in the movie. He gets to play outside of the time in Prince. I'm sorry to. Jess Dickerson got the one spot. How wonderful was that to work with that guy? Come on.
It's great. It's great.
Amazing. So I think that they are going to do questions from you guys. I think it is coming.
Okay, fans,
We're totally going to do it.
We're going to do Q&A.
So,
Hey, Catherine, real quick.
one question.
Can you hear me? I'm over. So I wanted to introduce someone from movie Purple Rain, Damon Dixon's with us from Minneapolis. He is one of the game boys.
That was another surprise. We didn't know he was going to jump on.
He was a dancer.
Yes. We were just going to transition into.
I'm sorry?
So that was another surprise. That was the other special guest was Damien. We didn't know he was going to be. Yeah, Damien. He was. We didn't know he was going to be there. So that was a really special treat because he was in the movie. So yeah.
Right. He was one of the dancers up top, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Along with Tony M. and some of the other guys from the. Was it Damon?
Kirk.
And Tony?
The three of them, yeah.
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 Dance when we saw his face.
Yes. So I don't know, Damon, if you can hear us. He may not be able to.
All right, well, we'll go dance, and then when he comes back, he'll be in the dance section.
Yes, and I also want to make sure Andrea Swenson's also going to join the panel here. You all were able to purchase her book, Purple Rain 40, for those that got here early, so we're going to add to the panel shortly.
Let's bring her up.
Just while we're on the subject of those three guys, and they were in the movie upstairs dancing, I think I remember hearing a story from Tony M about they weren't actually supposed to be in the movie, but they went down for the shooting of the movie just to hang out, and they were in the bathroom doing their routine. Prince walks in and says, "You're in the movie." I thought that was pretty cool.
Right.
That was cool.
We'll talk about that. It was really great to see him because, we want to see all these people that were there, and we want to see their story, hear their story. So it was nice to have him included. So he'll talk about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's bring her up. Come on, Andrea. Thank you.
Come on.
Look at her. Purple Rain 40.
You go down.
There's brother
Put your
Damon.
hair together, honey. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to come all up on you for this question. So, because John Travolta wasn't in the thing, and you guys were the actors, Jerome and Jill. So, the live recording was at First Avenue, and it was for a benefit for the Minnesota Dance Theater. And you all took dance classes at the Minnesota Dance Theater, is that correct? And we all youngsters were downstairs in the studios and getting worked out by the dance teachers, and y'all were getting pirouettes and everything from Lois Holton. And I just want to know, you guys were taking dance classes all together. Who all was it? It was
Our teacher was Katie Lasley, God rest her soul. I think she was Prince dated her, but she was so imagine the dynamic. So we're all being taught by her. It's really amazing how this film even got made, honestly. Because there was so much stuff going on, because Vanity was in those dance classes at the beginning. And we were doing jetés and running across the room. It was, fun, but Prince had a really interesting way of, if there was, especially with me, if there was an issue or I was like aggro about something, He'd be like, "You're really good, you know? You really should have been a dancer." No, I should never have been a dancer, you know? And he would like do stuff like that. So yeah, it was a great building, I remember.
And Jerome, tell us about your pliés.
The tourgettes.
The tourgettes. Tell us about dance class.
I could dance.
Okay, tell us about it.
I did it, you know. I jumped across the room and it was sexy.
Did you point your toes?
Huh?
Did you point your toes?
You had to point your toes. That's how we were taught. You know, we were in there. Morris got kicked out, right?
Yes, he did. But you were really good. You had good extension and height.
I had fluid teeth.
So, the Revolution, did they have to do class with you guys?
They had to do it too.
Acting and dancing.
His brother had to do it too.
Body and tights.
Footage. I want to see the footage.
And Damon, I don't know if you can hear us or...
The footage.
Yeah, I want to see the footage.
I can hear it. John Travolta.
You didn't have to take that. I know. Thank God.
Andre, I believe you refused to do steps.
Oh, that's...
He wasn't in Purple Rain, but...
I was in Grand Central. I didn't do steps.
I ain't doing that shit.
How was acting class?
We had fun. We did a lot of improvisation at the beginning, I believe, and yeah, Bill Glynn, and he came back with the script, but it was really episodic. And then they brought in, I think because he was a TV writer, and then afterwards they brought in Magnolia. And then it changed. Then it developed more into a film for a screen for theater.
After Magnolia came in and tweaked it, and he and Prince, and he sat with all of us and got the feeling of who we were, so the words would work. And that was an amazing feat that he did, because he brought it to a realness that could be communicated and translated into the film.
But I think it showed a commitment to community and to who you all were, and to making sure that those were the people that represented this story, and to figuring out how to make it happen. I stole Funkenberry's mic, I'm sorry. Damon, we wanted to... Oh, okay, there he is. So we just wanted to hear about you as a dancer in the film. Where were you at? How did you get into where you were at? And just tell us a little bit about that.
Me and Jerome go back quite a way. We go back to high school. When me, myself, Tony, and Kurt got the opportunity to be in Purple Rain, we actually won a dance contest that they had down on First Avenue every week. And upon winning that contest, we got the opportunity to be extra in the movie. And the way it came about us being actually featured as them dancers on the balcony was that we were in a restroom at First Avenue, dancing around, hand stomping, clapping our hands, kind of thing on a downtime. And Prince happened to walk in and watch us dance for a minute, and then he left. And we were sitting there, so, as soon as he left out, I kind of walked out to see where he went. And he went down and he started talking with this guy, who I found out later was Adam Lee, who was managing him. And he was pointing up there where I was looking over the radio, and he was like pointing. So Adam came up a little while later and asked, was I one of the guys dancing in the bathroom? And of course, was like a little nervous. Was like, yeah. So I kind of thought we were in trouble. And once he asked, and I explained that we was in there, and he's like, well, he said you would know who the other guys were, you had to get them guys together. I think he wants you guys to do something in the movie. And that's basically how it started. So, on that note, I pulled Tony aside to ask him, tell him what was going on. And Tony was kind of get down to one of the scenes and stuff, and he didn't believe that the guy came up and asked us that. So, but that's how we got started.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
No, Damon's the shit.
I mean,
Yeah, growing up with Damon, you know, he was an amazing young man, great athlete, amazing basketball player, and one of the top schools in the Midwest. And he told the story like it happened.
yeah.
Question for Jimmy. We all heard about the fire. No need to cover that. Now, were you guys always in contact? Is that why Pandemonium was so easy to go through in Graffiti Bridge? Were you guys always in contact, or was there an uncomfortable conversation that happened to bring you guys back in?
For the Graffiti Bridge? Well, I mean, for the Graffiti Bridge, I mean, I believe we were already being asked to be a part of the band. And we got the opportunity to be in that movie. So no, it wasn't really uncomfortable. I mean, we have been working around the city quite a bit. So the opportunity to be a part of all that was absolutely amazing, you know, and a blessing. You know, we were as dancers, but just getting the opportunity to do something that a lot of dancers didn't get a chance to. So.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Damon. Jimmy, you want to add anything else to that?
No.
Come on now. So we got you on this spot with it. You ain't getting away with that. Even if someone almost escaped you. You see, guys were always in contact. There was nothing afterwards. Just to bring you in for Graffiti Bridge and Pandemonium. You guys were always just in contact.
No, Graffiti Bridge actually, well, Graffiti Bridge was Graffiti Bridge, but we were working on a time movie of our own. And we actually had brought in someone to write a script. We had actually met with a couple of people that were going to do it. And then we got wind that Prince wanted to have a meeting. And so we had a meeting, and all of a sudden it was his movie, and it was Graffiti Bridge.
Wow.
And the rest is history, you know, I mean, so yeah. So the time movie we were gonna make, and Jerome knows this, we still have that in our minds to do that. That's important.
Now for Jill. You know, you did your music background. Here was you were being asked to act in Purple Rain. And some of the stuff that you did vocally was not in Purple Rain. How did you feel about that? And were you, that's a double question. How did you feel about your music not being in it and being forced to act and being brought to it where you had the musical background?
Yeah, I wasn't very happy about it. No. I've often said, I just think that it's sort of my situation is a cautionary tale for anybody out there going for their own thing. You have to be really clear when it's time to leave the fair. You know, because I felt like it was back burner city, and then the stuff gets cut, and then when those things happen and the timing is off, it's just ill-fated. It doesn't usually work. And it was for the good of the movie, but it just, I don't know. It is what it is, but it's a cautionary tale that you have to be incredibly clear about what you want, and when you're in a group setting, you have to know who you are in that group and what your goal is. And sometimes you've got to leave depending on how important it is, because the timing just will never work. And everything was a little forced with my career with Prince. Everything was forced.
That's powerful, isn't it?
I think those words, if you have kids, if you're doing whatever you're doing, if you're in a group setting, you really need to know who you are. I think that's really powerful.
I mean, David C. did the album. It's really, if it wasn't for him, there would have never been one. And that's the actual honest to God's truth. And that's because he has such a great attention span and focus and the ability to pull things together. Prince, I think, was by that time even getting pulled in a million different directions. And I think he had just lost interest as well, you know? Shiny new toys were always available.
That sounds like a song. Shiny new toes.
I'm gonna see if Andrea has.
I think we have a song called Shiny New Toys.
Shiny new toys. Like Katrina's paper dolls. There we go. Andrea, do you have any questions for them at all? Put you on the spot here.
I'm like, give me that microphone. I have so many questions. First of all, it's just incredible to be in proximity to so many people who have known Prince for so long. And it's really moving to hear the stories about those early days, Grand Central, Mind and Matter, Flight Time, the family, the Way Community Center. This is such important history, and it's such important Minneapolis.
This is Andrea, correct?
Yes, that's André Swenson. So she was there before the show began. She had her books, and she was so kind. There was a line, and people bought her books, and she was signing. Took her time to do that. She's just I really like her. We've become good friends.
Yeah, I love to listen to her podcast because she's
Yes.
like the voice of the estate, right?
Yes, and she does her research. She does her research for sure. So yeah, she's incredible.
History, and thank you for sharing these stories and keeping these stories alive. So I want to know, because we are at the 40th anniversary now of this work, and so many of you are from Minneapolis and saw Prince's beginnings and struggles and triumphs. What does it mean now, that it's lived on this long, and we know it's going to continue living on more, and what do you want people to remember about Prince and Purple Rain?
Well, I would say from my perspective, obviously, one of the really brilliant things, I think, from this film, and one of the things that I thought was most powerful about it is that it inspired a lot of people to make music, to pick up an instrument. It made people who were not, who felt like they didn't fit in to certain situations. They made me feel comfortable, and there were so many things that were sort of subliminal about this film that I thought were really powerful, which I think is going to help it, stand the test of time, and obviously the music is always, it's always, the personalities and the characters, those things are so important.
And it's amazing to travel and go around the world, and this is just a small portion of the favor that we get for being accepted from what he did and what we played a part in. Being on that bus, wow, what a great ride. What a great ride. And you guys said you guys aren't finished. We're going to continue to love you and love it. And I appreciate that, and I'm sure everybody up here understands that too. Prince was an amazing creator and guide.
I just want to say Prince was not only a star, he was a meteor, and he streaked.
Julie, if you're referring to the guy with the mic with the black baseball cap, that is David Z. That's Bobby Z's brother, and of course the other guy with the.
I was gonna say too, an extraordinary engineer. And I was gonna say, I forgot that he was an integral part of that Jill Jones record.
Right.
Yes.
And not to think some of Jody Watley's album too, the first one.
Okay, I didn't realize that he was a part of that. Wow. As well as André.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. The family. Yeah. Impressive resume.
Yeah, I do remember reading some of the liner notes back in the day. It's been a long time since we've actually gotten liner notes, unless you're still a vinyl fan, you still do that. But yeah, I remember his name on a lot of stuff.
Faster than anyone I've ever seen. Non-stop energy, and I think he used himself up, and that's really sad, but he burned out. He was a meteor.
I just think that, well, there's too many things to say, but the one thing I'll say is, and I think we all probably feel this way about him, is as great as you think he is, he's so much better. That's what I would say.
Nice.
And I think I would say, because the other day I did a post when we took a picture and I just started thinking about everybody in Minneapolis, and you know, the talent there is just, it is otherworldly. That's what I said. I think that there was sort of like this convergence of the Earth and the planetary alignments at some point. And there have been only a few, I would say, musically that make that stake in music. We saw it with the Motown thing. We saw these movements that seemed they were destined to be. So when I think of how prolific he was because of the sum total of everybody.
Hello, Michelle. Thanks for joining.
Collective that was in there. So for me, and then I look at your career, and then Andre's career, and just how those tentacles expanded so far into other people's homes with their kids and their families and their memories. You know, that's pretty powerful for me to see that, yes, he took a step, but none of the other ones fell down. I mean, they were all in lockstep at the same time, and so it created this ball. You know, you had David Z start with the Funky Town. Everything just moved, and it was destined, I believe. This group of people, can you believe this? Like, you're sitting here, and you play these songs like when you're sad, when you're happy, when, you know, in your car. You spent a lot of time with these people here. So that's, to me, it's just otherworldly.
That's real.
Everything with this is like everyone is the soundtrack of our lives, all these people on stage, and Prince, right?
I just want to ask one quick question.
And that's Dr. Funkenberry, if I'm not mistaken. He has
Right.
his own podcast, YouTube channel as well. Really good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's a Prince historian, supposedly.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
That I think is super important, and building on what Jill said about what happened in Minneapolis and these musicians. And I just want to ask, because the state of music is in a really interesting place, and a lot of states, a lot of things are in an interesting place. Does this happen without music education and music in the schools?
No, I mean, it's funny because I met with Terry. Well, first of all, school is where I met Prince. I met Prince in junior high school in Minneapolis because we took a piano class together, which we already knew how to play, but it just got us out of class for an hour. But no, I mean, without music education, I've said this a million times, but if you think about the English language, we learn it to the alphabet. If I gave you 26 things and I said, remember these in a row, A, B, you couldn't do it. But as soon as you put a melody, as soon as you put music to it, and you say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and you say, right. That's how we learn. So the fact that that tool is not in classrooms makes absolutely no sense.
I would like to second that. You know, obviously, I think Prince and I have been for that, and it was kind of the same thing. It was just we met in music class. Well, actually, no, we met in gymnasium, but we got to know each other musically because, you know, obviously, I'm sure you probably heard the story. He said he could play, I said I could play, and we challenged each other and all that kind of stuff. But you know, the interesting thing that I found fascinating, again, watching this film, that, you know, there's a lot of real life in this film, because you probably don't know this, but I got Prince's first two guitars in this film. That whole scene where the guitar thing happens, I never made that connection, you know. And I don't know if you've ever seen some footage out of us, our band back when we were, I think maybe 15 or something. But he's playing one of the guitars. But it's just a connection to reality that this film has, again, that I think is really makes it real. And I had no, I was off doing my own band and all that kind of stuff. But I had no idea all of these connections were part of this film. You know, the cloud guitar, I don't know how much anybody knows about that whole thing, but you know, that's also part of my my little bit of involvement in the film. Is the cloud guitar was originally a cloud bass, and Andrea did an amazing job of tracking down that whole history, because it was pretty interesting, you know. But you know, he bought that for me. You know, I literally saw it in a guitar shop, like the movie, but I didn't have any money. and I talked him into talking the record company and getting it, and you know, and so the rest is history. But to see it kind of reflected like that in this film was so beautiful. I mean, I think he's trying to tell me stuff, you know, as friends, because we were really close. It's hard to explain, you know, into, you know, in an atmosphere like this, but we were really close, and it means a lot. It meant a lot then, and it means even more now, you know, because I know since he's been gone, it's just been, you know, he talks to me. he definitely speaks to me, you know, through a lot of different things, through music. And we had that kind of connection anyway, but it's even more so now. He's kind of, you know, always saying, André, I can hear. It's like, you have no idea. He's like a brother that just doesn't stop. But it's a beautiful thing. It really is. It was back then, and it is even out. You know, so in my mind, he's never gone. He's never going to go away. So it is forever.
Q&A section. We have to track time. Okay. So, all right. So we have questions from fans. Fans. Do you have questions?
Ready?
Put your hand up.
Okay, I'm gonna.
And our lovely.
I'm gonna start with
Savannah Black will come to you.
Hi, can you hear me? Well, let's do. So I hope this doesn't sound dumb. I hope that it comes out right. But speak up. What's your name? My name is Jay Patterson.
Thank you, brother.
All right, I'm squad. So, all right. So there was a period of time where the Minnesota sound pretty much dominated everything, and it was not very specific to one sound, but like even with like Alexander O'Neal, Sherelle, I was 100 years old before I even realized that Sounds of Blackness, Optimistic was from y'all. But even like recently, like I want to say, and St. Paul doing his thing. So like there literally was like no escaping the Minnesota sound. And I think 2021.
Yes, Michelle.
Some guy named, his name like Marshall Charlotte, whatever, he came out with a song called Minnesota Sound. And I'm wondering from the musicians up there, what does the future of the Minnesota sound like?
If we could explain that, we wouldn't have to play it.
Good one.
Jimmy or Jerome?
We'll see what it sounds like, because we're still actively making music, and there's a whole generation, or a couple of generations now behind us that's making music, and they will define what the future sound of Minnesota is. So I look forward to hearing what that is, and hopefully being involved with it.
All right, we have another question.
Hi.
Hello.
So my name is Pamela. My question is film specific. I wanted to know, Jerome, how much of the interaction between you and Mr. Day was improvised, and when you guys would kind of go off script, were they cool with it, or would they kind of like want to keep you guys to what was written on paper? Because your interaction was very natural, but were you able to kind of freestyle your dialogue, or did you have to kind of stick to the script?
We had to stick to the script, but they allowed us to add the spice inside it, so we rehearsed our spice as well. So we played part in our lines and creating our lines as well. So that's why it seemed like it was natural as well.
Thank you.
That was brilliant.
Follow up?
That was a brilliant thing from Albert Magnoli to do, to include us in the structure of what he's creating.
I think that a lot of people are under the misconception. I always hear it's great to improvise and everything, but there's something to be said for rehearsing and doing your job where it actually looks like it isn't scripted. That's the beauty, but that should never be mistaken for, I can just get up and go and do this. Because why you try to keep something consistent, whether it be a recording or, yeah, you can go crazy, but you have to edit, you have to do all these things, and it just becomes a real mess if it's just too loosey-goosey, and for my opinion. And even in film, with all those edits, I mean, it's a nightmare for somebody to have to deal with an improv. I thought they did a fantastic job with the delivery because it seemed like they were improvising. But Prince's shows were so rehearsed. I don't think there was one thing that you were out of step on. For real, it was like, one time he and I were doing something and my pantyhose or fishnets got stuck on a button when I had to do those dances. This is why I'm not a dancer. But he couldn't handle the fact that that went out of the boundary of what our rehearsal was. And he freaked for a moment, and you can see it on stage where we were eye to eye. So yeah, everything was completely, but that's the beauty of rehearsal. It's like you do a dance. You want to make it look like you hadn't been out there for like 12 hours every day.
We did rehearse, and we got 2 takes. 2 takes, and we moved on. Now, he might have did 17 to get that look, but the movie turned out perfect. So he was correct in his regimen that he laid out.
Hi, my name is Renee Matthews. Hi, Renee. And I have a question for everyone up there. If you can describe Prince in one word, what would it be?
She said, Princess, one word that you remember him.
We'll go.
Sorry. Prince, can I get a raise?
Mastermind.
Genius.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Technicolor.
Convicted?
I'd say he was a Atreyu. He was like the boy from Neverending Story for me.
Pocket.
I'd say unstoppable.
Did we get everybody? Okay, we got 2 more questions. I promise.
Yeah, hi, my name is Jerome. And they've always said that, like the sound checks were like, for his concerts, that the sound checks were like the concert before the concert. So I was just wondering if, during the filming of the process was there any discrepancy with the producer versus him, like arguments over who wanted a better sound versus what the producer wanted, or kind of going back into your rehearsals?
He never did that type of business in front of us. He took it to a private place and took care of it. Was a producer. He took it to him. He took it to you. It was point blank.
All right, okay, one more. Sorry.
Hi, my name is Tanisha, and I have more, not a question, just a comment.
just to say thank you. You guys have, well, you probably do, but have no idea what this movie brought families together, changed situations. I'm a little black girl from Queens, New York, who's an opera singer, and I got to hold my chest up high, seeing you guys and saying, if you can do that, I can do that too. So thank you. Thank you.
We have somebody in the audience who did Prince's hair. Kim, can you stand up? Kim Burns? I interviewed you before. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Are we done?
Hey, Kim, we can go two more.
Two more questions.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Questions, that's it. This guy back here. Come on, way back here.
Oh, yeah. I promise you.
Thank you. Come on. Don't be scared. Welcome.
I just met Jerome. My name is Thomas Wells. My brother Lewis Wells designed all the clothes for Purple Rain. But my question is, for all of you guys, is from that period with Prince, from the movie, what key element did you take away from that in your evolution, in your lives, in your careers? You know, I just want to know, just for my personal confidence and all that, just to see what you guys got from that, and how did you evolve from that? What key element did you take away from that period?
Great question.
Well, the thing that I'm taking away is that it was a blessing to be part of a great machine. And benefits that I mean, I'll cherish for the rest of my life. I got friends. I see my friends in here, all throughout here, people I've known for 40 years. And I've lived pretty well and got a great family. And I thank Prince for the vehicle that he created for us to be in.
Last question.
Yes, first of all, Jerome, was that a mannequin that you threw in the trash can, or was that a real girl? What did you throw in the trash can?
I stuffed her ass in the trash can. It was a female, a live female. But she was a stunt woman. No, she was an actress, and she agreed to the scene, and it was fun. It was the trash can was lined with protective material, and I tried to push her past it, but I couldn't. No. It was written and it was proceeded to be done.
I've always wanted to ask this question. Prince could sing, produce, and write, and play everything. Who did all of those choreographies, and where did he find time? What kind of program did he do to practice all of those instruments to stay on top of it? And my name is Michael McCurtis, by the way.
Michael, why didn't you ask this shit when you came to my house 5 years ago? Huh? Okay. We all put the choreography together, and we rehearsed it, and it became one. And that's what you get. Ta-da, Michael Curtis.
Okay, last question, for real.
Thank you, first of all, for bringing this together for us. Being an educator and hearing your story about being able to develop in school and come together as young people and bring something amazing to the people, what do you think I can do for my children, because they're mine, when they're under my leadership, to encourage them to be different, encourage them to test what they're feeling so that they can bring beauty to, the world. Did I say my name? Jardette Griffin.
Can I ask you a question? Do you play music in your classroom for your kids? I'm sorry.
So I'm not a musician, however, I find music for my children.
Beautiful. And how do they react to that? Do they choose what do they want to hear, or kind of what's the dialogue that you use?
Well, absolutely. So when you were saying, when you gave that example about learning the ABCs and things like that, we oftentimes have to remind. So I'm an administrator, so a lot of times I have to remind my fellow educators that music does allow individuals to remember. It brings life, they have connection to it. And so, unfortunately, I'm in a district where we're trying to bring music and arts into our district so that children, I'm in a low socioeconomic area. And so we are definitely drawing upon the community to bring those things to our children because they do flourish. And so anyway, what can I give? What more can I give to my students?
So I will say personally, because I'm wearing a Grammy pin today, and the reason I'm wearing it is because I'm a board member of the Grammy Museum. And one of the reasons, thank you, one of the things that we want to do at the museum is not only recognize history, but be a force for people who are trying to create history. And those are the children, the people that are coming, right, based on the lessons that we've taught. I would encourage you to get in touch with the Grammy Museum. We would love to host your classroom at the museum. And let them allow them to be able to experience music in a great way. And I will personally take it on myself to help get that done.
Get your Grammy some, y'all. We're gonna put it on yourself. Get your Grammy some. Thank you. Sit there and sing.
Okay, guys, okay. All right, panelists, we have our final words. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to add to that just a little bit, because it's something that my father shared with me when I was young, and we shared it amongst ourselves in New York. And he always said that it's not how much you do, it's how much you get done. So with kids, you can't play somebody an idea, you have to play them something finished. So that's the only thing I was going to add.
Thank you, DJ C-minus, to DJ the pre-party. We're going to be having someone who's doing the after party. I think you know.
My baby girl. Jaylee, she's singing. Maybe clean up the room when she get home.
And before we wrap up, I just want to say thank you to Jill M. for putting this all together. Much appreciated.
Yes, thank you, Jill.
Thank you, fans. Thank you. Can we make sure we get everybody's in social media and anything they got coming out? Or come on, I know Jimmy got about 50,000 things, but besides him, everybody else, 30 seconds or less.
I got the Resurrection of Funk is coming out. I'm going to start putting it out in June. So.
All right.
Jill, you got that?
Yeah, I put out old demos of 80s stuff that Prince didn't want me to put out. So. All the songs I put out. So, but other than that, I don't, I'm not really all that into, I love music, but I love playing it in the house and listening. And classical music seems to be something I'm back interested in a lot. I drive only listening to classical now because I can't stand. One thing I would have to say, what's so great about when Prince put together, he found a vehicle for his songs, basically. Nowadays it's so tricky because I find that the images are bigger than the songs. I don't remember people's songs very well. And it's not just my old age.
it's at a different point, but I love music that sneaks up on me sometimes or really moves me. That can make me fall madly in love with somebody. I don't want it the other way around. I don't want just, there they are, the image, and because that always felt very artificial. I loved that the music came first from Minneapolis, and the images were kind of like in sync, in line, secondary, but they supported it, and you got to go inside this little portal, and I feel that's missing today, because you get in the portal, everything's so externalized, and that's why there's so much depth in all the young people from our era that, you know, came from that time. You know, I used to stand next to him for the Vanity Six show. We sang behind a curtain, and they played. I stood right next to Jimmy Jam. And when you didn't come to that show that one day because of the...
Because of the snowstorm in Atlanta.
Yes. I can't believe that Prince literally turned around and said, you should know this part. You've been standing next to him the whole time. Like, what? Are you joking? So,
You did know the one string part on Nasty Girl, though, right? Yeah, that's right.
that was it. But yeah, so it's so good to be back with. That's the one thing I'd have to say. It's like a family, and I think you all feel that way. So that's my piece.
This is my family, y'all. I love them all.
30 seconds, guys. Whoever has thoughts, Damon, do you have anything? Damon?
Yes?
Yes, do you have any thoughts? Really quick, 30 seconds. We love your shirt.
Well, you know, what I take from the opportunity of being that, Prince gave us an opportunity to display our ability to dance, and then later on, giving everybody an opportunity to do other things. So, we always said, you know, practice made perfect. Whenever we were rehearsing, and we rehearsed 8-10-hour days sometimes, and we always just said, you know, you never practice enough on your craft. And I just give him all the praise for giving 3 guys who were just dancers an opportunity to show what we could do. And hard work and knowing that this brother was just humble enough to give us that opportunity. I can't never say thank you enough for what was given to us. So I praise him for that.
André, thank you so much. And now that you guys showed out, you sold out our book before she can get everyone to get a copy. Get Andrea back for something else, won't we? Yes, please.
I will mail you a copy if you want one. Go to my website. You can order a personalized copy. As soon as I get back to Minneapolis, I'll ship it right back here. Can I also just briefly say, I've been working with Jimmy on a project that I'm so excited is coming out later this summer. I've been working on a biography of his father, Cornbread Harris. And he just turned 97 years young, still plays a couple times a week in Minneapolis. He's a legend. It's been an amazing honor to work with Jimmy and learn about his early life and his relationship with his father, and I'm so excited to share this story. So if you're gonna be in Minneapolis, we're throwing a big party on August 16th to celebrate that book.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you to the fans for coming out. Thank you, Catherine Copeland Anderson. Thank you, Jill Jones. Thank you, Jimmy Jam. Thank you, André Cymone. Thank you, David Z. Thank you, Jerome Benton. Thank you, Andrea Swenson. Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Dr. Funkenberry. And one last person I thank. Thank you, Prince. Thank you, Damon.
Thanks, fans. If you guys want to take pictures, go and take your pictures of the panel. Get your pictures now. We're going to have a quick after party. No.
My name is Jill Monroe. I thank you for coming out tonight. We had a great time.
Shout out to Jill.
Shout out to Jill, y'all. Jill Monroe Production. Jill Monroe Production. Thank you to Nancy and Assad. This is their also the promoters for the event.
All right.
That was good.
Yep. Very good.
Yeah, just to watch it again is so special. I mean, just when you're watching something live or you're there, it obviously you're just taking it all in. But just when I this is like the second time I've seen it, well, in full. But it's just great to see, just to get those tidbits like Michelle was saying, the guitar story. I remember. I mean, I heard it, but now I'm really, it just sinks in a little bit more. So I'm glad that it was recorded and we can watch it.
Right. Yeah, I'm really thankful for
Yeah,
you
'cause
guys. Go ahead, Rich.
Sure.
That was awesome. Olga, you you got to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I-
You got
I
to
mean,
meet
when-
everybody.
Yes, I did. And I remember when, it was first, announced, on Instagram, I saw it and I'm just like, oh my gosh. And this was like months ago. So, we've had some time and, it just, grew and grew and it sold out. It was in a, it was a good location downtown LA.
Mhm.
So yeah, and then right next door. So the after party was so like Jerome said, it was his daughter. She goes by Chrome Queen on Instagram. Her name's I'm gonna butcher her name. I'm so sorry. It's
Okay, so
Jeff-
that's who Chrome Queen was on the flyer. Okay. Gotcha.
Okay.
Yes, that's his daughter, and she's a really good DJ. She plays, the I wouldn't say like a lot of deep cuts, but she plays the era
Right.
of time.
And mixes it pretty well.
Yeah, she's great. So she had us dancing and so right next to the Regent, there's a little bar and a little dance floor. Tanya, you would have loved it. I wish you would have come.
I saw y'all dancing. I was like, oh, I wish I was there.
A lot of fun. There was something, we went there for something out last year, probably the year before. So it was another purple event. So it's a good location. It's not really
So
big, but
did everybody hang out for the after party? All the people that were on the panel, or?
oh yeah, I got to dance with André.
Oh, how cool!
Out there, yeah, it was cool. Yeah, Jerome hung around. They were there for a while. Just in the Regent in the theater, people got to take pictures with them right after it ended, and then from there we went to the after party, and André was there for a little while, and he got on the dance floor. So
Nice.
I did see, I saw him dancing. I wish you could have asked him, where do you get those hats, André? Because I had asked him, where do you get those hats?
Yeah, probably somewhere in LA.
Nice.
I know.
Yeah.
But no, it was really a neat event. Really well put together. Really happy that I was able to make it, and definitely, if I would suggest if Jerome, if you hear about an event that he does, because he did something last year for Under the Cherry Moon,
Yes.
and that was there for that too. That wasn't at the Regent. That was in Inglewood.
Mhm.
And that was really well put together. We saw the movie Under the Cherry Moon, and then afterwards, in the back of that theater, there was an area where we could dance and have a DJ and stuff. So, yeah, they're really nice events, and bringing people together, bringing the purple fam together. So,
Yeah, Jerome was really cool. I met Jerome back in the late '90s, I think it was. It was a Time concert, and I was able to get backstage. And at that time, I was a struggling musician, and so I had my CD. So I approached Jerome, and I was like, "Thank you, Jerome. You guys are my mentors, and I want you to check out my CD." I was just gonna give it to him. He reaches in his pocket, starts pulling out money. How much do I owe you? I'm like, Jerome, you guys are my mentors, man. You don't owe me anything. Cool guy.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I met Jimmy Jam just briefly in an elevator. It was during the Minneapolis Music Expo, and this was like around 94.
Wow.
So it was me and a friend of mine that was we were in a group together. And it was after there was an award ceremony for Sounds of Blackness.
Okay.
And it was right after that banquet. And so we're, in the parking garage elevator. So like we got on first, like on the way back to the car. And then the doors open and it's Jimmy Jam and then like two other guys.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, and he was nice. He said hi, we said hi and everything. And the funny thing about it, because like we got off before they did. So once we stepped off the elevator, that's when we were like, God, that's Jimmy Jam. I can't believe it. That was Jimmy Jam.
I know, right? I know the
Well,
feeling.
Tanya and I got this. I've actually had the opportunity to meet him this year or be around him 4 times. But Tanya and I were together when we went. Go ahead, Tanya. Tell him about that.
To the NAM. That was in California. And we got to meet Jimmy Jam, St. Paul. Who else? Tony M, Morris Hayes. Who else? That was fun. That night was fun. Yeah. That was the NAMS. What part of California was that again?
It was in Anaheim.
Anaheim. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was fun. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are there any questions that you would have asked at this event that didn't get asked? Anybody?
I don't know. It covered so much. It was so much that, not in a bad way. It was just like, wow, you felt like, I felt like I was really there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And just the energy, because I think just those individuals have had like the most direct influence on me, during the 80s and beyond. Just as much, and sometimes probably even more so than Prince sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And just that collective energy, it was just a feel good moment just to watch all and hear all the anecdotes and the stories. So yeah, I don't know if I would have had any other questions except maybe one or two to kind of maybe expound on some of the stuff that was covered.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was cool that they included André, Cymone, and Jimmy.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Yeah,
which didn't really have much to do with the movie, but they're part of the Purple family. But I always wondered about the deleted scenes from the movie that were never shown.
Right? Do they exist? Do they not exist? Yeah, depending on who you talk to, they exist. Other people say they were.
Because if you could remember in the Purple Rain trailer, there was a fight scene.
Yes.
Between
with
Prince,
Jelly Bean, right?
Yes. And I was always curious about that scene. Like, what is that scene? What is it about?
Exactly. They were like in a warehouse. Me too. I was like, where is that scene? Also the other scene when Morris and Apollonia are running beside the house. Y'all remember that? That was a deleted scene. Mm-hmm.
Now I've got the original script for Purple Rain where it includes some of those. And I think the one with Jelly Bean, it was where Prince, I don't know, it looks like Apollonia is getting rescued a lot of these deleted scenes, but like he crashes the rehearsal to try to get Apollonia. I think that's what it said in the script.
Okay.
And I guess that's when, the time get ready to try to jump him or Jelly Bean tries to grab him. And then that ends up being that scene from that trailer.
Okay.
And I think the same thing with
the
scene with Morris and Apollonia. I think that's again, it's kind of in between what we see in the movie.
Okay.
Where they're in the alley and Morris is drunk, and I
Ah.
think it's like they hear Prince coming, and then they take off running.
Oh, because it looked like they were in front of the house. I was like, why are they in front of his house, the kid's house?
Mhm. I remember I had a conversation a while back with Jill Jones on Facebook about that. I was like, I wonder whatever happened to those scenes. I think I was just generally asking the question in a group, and she jumps in and she says, to her knowledge, she thinks that those scenes burned in a fire. They were in storage.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we may not ever see it.
See it. Oh. Oh.
Another
I think there was
question? Go ahead.
I don't think there was a rumor or something that I read or saw on social media that possibly the new in the DVD that's going to be out for Purple Rain, in that
4K?
more high tech digital, I forget what the name of
4K.
it is, 4K,
Mhm.
but it didn't. From what I understand, it's not. So yeah, like you said, maybe they've just been. Who knows where those scenes are?
Yeah.
Oh.
Somebody knows.
I know they're not telling us.
They'll probably turn up in the 50th anniversary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we found it
Yeah.
and dusted it off.
Mhm.
It was
Mhm.
ashes on it, but we found it.
Yeah. Yeah, there was this hole in the wall in Paisley Park we just discovered.
Exactly, right. And there was a second copy.
Well, actually, all jokes aside, I think just recently there's been some recordings of Jimi Hendrix that have just been found. I think like her ex-girlfriend had
Okay.
these tapes.
Okay.
So
Wow.
I wouldn't be surprised if something like that doesn't turn up somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, you'd be amazed what's out there.
Mhm.
I think another question I would ask would be about the fact Des Dickerson was also in the movie for a second, and I know the movie was filmed in '83, and I think Des left the Revolution like '82 or '83.
83, yeah, it was right after was it right after the tour?
Yeah. So my question would
Yeah.
be, because I know Prince gave him the song Modern Air, and that's what he did in the movie. But was the movie filmed before Des left or after Des left? And he
Oh,
just
yeah, that's
brought
a good question.
I think it was
Yeah.
I think it was after.
after.
Oh, so he put him in there then. He put him in
Right.
the movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I you read all things, but he included a lot of people, that were part of his life. Like the waitress that comes up to Morris, her name is Kim. I'm so bad with names.
Upshur?
Yeah.
Upshur, yeah.
And she was in there. She was in the movie, and it's just nice to see that. For me, that's just my thoughts. Is that I enjoy seeing when I watch the film that he included people from his upbringing, from
Mhm.
that. I think that's really cool. And like Andre was sharing those stories of the guitar. That was really a good story to hear.
Mhm.
Because,
That was
he
nice.
remembered. It's like Prince. He had all those little details, and I think that they meant something to him in order to have them include them in the movie. So I don't
Billy
know.
Sparks.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I probably would have asked Andre then, did Prince ever approach him to maybe do a scene in the movie, even though Andre had left? Like, did that ever
Mhm.
happen? Since he did have a lot of people, come in the
Mhm.
movie. Yeah.
Mhm. I thought it was cool that Vanity was actually supposed to be in the movie instead of Apollonia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's the script. I think that's the script. Yeah, that's the script I have where it was her original
Yeah.
part. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I was in Minneapolis a couple of years ago, I took one of the tours, and the tour guide took us to the Lake Minnetonka area, which is in Henderson, Minnesota. Took us out to the train trestle scene where Apollonia jumped in the water
Okay.
to purify herself.
Yeah.
That was cool to see.
Mhm.
Like he took us directly to the spot. I don't even think we were supposed to be there, but he was like, because we were the only, there was nobody else on the tour but us. And it was kind of like a one-on-one thing. And he was like, I'm not supposed to take you back there, but I'm going to take you back there. We're going to take a look at the actual.
Who was that with? Was that with Keppel?
Captain Randy?
Oh, okay. No, I took the same. I mean, I took a tour like that too, and I went to that spot too, but it was with somebody else. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that was
that's
really cool.
Yeah.
It's out there, but you can get to it.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was kind of creepy because it's not a lot going on, and it's like you're in the woods,
Right.
but you have to think to yourself, "This is where it happened."
Right.
And that when I took that tour, or when I went there, I thought it was just so neat because, of course, you see that you see that's those scenes in Take Me With You part of the movie and the video as well, and those are just also just scenes from his just who would have thought? When I first watched the movie, I thought of Minneapolis, just the city, but I didn't know that there was just these beautiful areas of country and the cows.
Yeah.
It was really cool to see. So when I was there for the tour, when I went to to the tour and went to these spots, it's like, oh my gosh, it's much more beautiful than even in the in the video and in the movie. So I'm just glad that he was just so detailed in things that he put in the film that meant they were part of his area where he lived and outskirts as well. So
Right.
Mhm. I wish you guys were coming to Celebration.
Yeah.
Well, they got the single tickets now. Can you do something?
I wish.
Yeah, I wish too. Every year I said I'm going next year, and then the prices get higher and higher,
higher. Yeah, and I mean, yes.
I really would love to be there, though. I mean, yeah, there's a difference in going to Paisley Park, outside of Celebration,
right,
than going during Celebration because you're there with thousands and thousands of like-minded people.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I have to say, the price is a little, is a little steep, but I think you're right. It's just for me, it's being around just friends and that for me is it. It's really that's important. I mean, a celebration is you get to we're going to hear music that hasn't been heard before, so that I'm excited about that part. That's being around everybody is just that's
fun. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we've go ahead.
We put in some time.
We've gone over the 2-hour mark. That's a record for me. Hopefully, YouTube will allow me to go 2 hours, but we shall see.
Let's see. Yeah, I don't know about live stream, but I think so. I've seen live streams that have gone 2+,
3 and 4.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did find the script, so it was. I don't know if you can see that, but it does Vanity.
Yeah, she was supposed to be in it. Yeah.
Cool.
Not sure I believe the John Travolta story though. It's a little far-fetched.
I've heard that before though.
Yeah,
I've heard it before, but knowing how Hollywood thinks, I wouldn't be surprised if that wasn't suggested.
But they would totally have to rewrite the script, right? Because none of that music would have been in there.
Right.
What would he have done? Danced? Or
right.
I mean, we've seen him sing before, but
yeah, those songs, it would have been in a different key. I don't think it would have.
Yeah.
No. And like Jerome said, to go against him and Morris, you know, the way
Right.
it wouldn't have, he wouldn't have
It
had
wouldn't
a,
have worked.
Mhm.
it wouldn't have had a chance. So, but yeah, that was good that they, you know, there's a lot of little stories or, you know, rumors or whatever that they, you know, squashed. So that was good to hear too. So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so yeah.
Well, this has been super, super fun, guys. I really appreciate you guys coming on and doing this with me. Didn't realize it was going to go 2 hours, but it was well worth the time spent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
for
I
inviting
enjoyed
us
Yeah,
again.
thank you. Yeah.
And nice to
I
meet
enjoyed
you.
Yeah,
This is
nice
really
Yeah,
to meet
nice
you
to
guys
meet
too.
you as well.
Yeah.
So you guys, you want to talk about where people can find you on social media if you want people to find you?
Okay. You what?
Well, I'm on social media, but my accounts are private. I'm a teacher, so
Gotcha.
careful.
Enough said.
You know, you can find me on Instagram, just Olga Hernandez, and then
Okay.
I think I do an underscore somewhere in there, but and then on Facebook. But you know, I'm only on there just with the fans,
Yeah.
and you know. But if
Yeah.
you know, I'll approve or whatever. I don't know how. Yeah.
And Richard, we all know that you have your own show as well, so I'm sure you want to shout that out.
Sure. Yeah. Host of Amari Music Talk, which is on either your favorite podcast platform, YouTube, or Patreon. So you can find me there. Also have a website, richardcolemusic.com, that has all the links to social media such as Twitter, Threads. So I'm pretty accessible.
Awesome. What about you, Tanya?
I'm on Instagram as Tita Burrow, and on Facebook, I'm Tanya D. Harris.
Awesome. And she's an awesome promoter. So if you got anything you want promoted,
Come to me.
Girl, got her. Knows how to use that Instagram.
I love my Instagram.
very active, and thanks for posting my stuff. I appreciate it so much.
Oh yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, the more the merrier, trying to keep the legacy alive and make this thing grow. And
Yeah.
so thanks for those of you who joined in tonight in the chat, and make sure you go over to the YouTube channel and subscribe, hit the bell for future notifications for whenever we do a new episode. And once again, I thank you guys so much for joining. Looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
And remember, as always, everybody, live, love, dream, y'all. Peace. And happy birthday, Prince.
Yep.
Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday.
Prince.
Yes.
66. Can you believe it?
Wow.
Man.
Ooh.
And you know, he still would have been awesome.
Like,
Oh, yeah. He'd still be out there doing his thing for sure. All right, guys. Take care. Peace.
All right.
bye,
Peace.
everybody.
Bye.